Hello everyone, this is Gato Angel. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be teaching you how to draw a 90s style anime character. Well, just drawing the head, but this step can be applied to drawing the whole character. If this tutorial helps you out, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more art related content. So let's begin. What makes a character drawn in 90s anime art style, or for anime or any technique for that matter? The best way to do that is to look at an anime decade style chart. Now this isn't the exact name for them, but this is what I like to call them when I see them. They're usually shown how a character will be drawn based on the decades of the period of the time, like the 70s, 80s, etc. You can notice how characters are depicted based on what was popular at the time for their designs. Now that you have seen how the character should be drawn, the next thing will be is how to start. Well, that's very simple. Look at your favorite 90s anime and look at how the characters are designed. Notice what they all have in common. It can be the way the eyes are drawn, or even shaded to just even design up the hair. From this point on, what we want to do is an art study. Now, for those that do not know what art study is about, art study serves as a tool to help us learn to understand how drawing something that we can see, or even tracing. This can be helpful to us to start understanding how the character is drawn and what elements are important to keep in mind when drawing in 90s art style. Here are examples of old studies that I did a couple of years ago when I took some different animes and started to look at them upon each of the characters. Then, from what I noticed, what I liked about the styles was how their eyes are depicted, their details, and the structure of how their face is designed. After doing these studies, you should start to feel more comfortable to create the 90s characters in a more 90s anime style. Once you finish doing the sketching and lining, we now need to color it. As you remember from your studies, you had noticed how the coloring works in other anime. The fun thing about this is that you can do the coloring in a variety of ways. For me, my type of coloring is based on another artist who studied how to replicate old school cell shading. His name is Mighty Otaku King, and I'll have a link to his cell shading sheet in the description. It is what I use at times for my drawings. Though I have gotten more experience just knowing the steps of the coloring, I don't always need to pull it out and use it unless I specifically want to color pick certain colors that he has used to reflect based on other animes that he has seen. At this point, I expect that you will have the coloring and shading completed along with your highlights. From this point on, we now want to start our magic and start giving this character more 90s feel. Because now that we have it in sort of the style, what we truly want to give us like the gritty and rooty feel of what classic animes had. Because back during then, a lot of older animes were done on cellulite and cell sheets. This is where the term cell shading comes from, because we're trying to replicate those olden classic styles through the use of coloring, which is coloring simple shapes and lines to represent shading, or where the light will hit in the character and where the shadows will go. Now to do this, we have two ways to do this. One, which is the male way, which I'll also be showing you, and one is the other way. Especially if you have Clip Studio Paint, which I do, you'll be able to see how this effect will work. Both will help you with the drawing and be able to get that classic 90s anime feel. But it's also important to know how to do the manual way as well, especially if you don't have Clip Studio Paint, or if you would like to at least learn it on your own, apart from relying on the settings. Now the first thing that we want to do is that we're going to make sure we save a file as a PNG, and we're going to close it, because we want to open it back up and have it just as the file itself. Now what you're going to be doing is you're going to duplicate the layer of your drawing. You want to have a second layer of your drawing. So once you duplicate it, you're going to head to filter and look for gloss and blur. And then you're just going to raise it to whatever level you feel best. And then afterwards, we're going to hit to our layer and switch to either lighten or stream and lower the opacity to 20 and 30%. Then finally, we're going to go back to filter and look for the purling noise. And you're going to want to set this to the lowest, like 10%. And there you have it. You now have done the manual way of how you will replicate the classic feel of a 90s anime character. And now I'm also going to show how you will also replicate it for the second method, which is using straight Clip Studio Paint, using the asset store. The Clip Studio Asset Store is a wonderful feature which has many different free brushes and models and poses and many different things that you can use to help you as an artist. And one of the things I gotten from them is looking up retro effects to get my classic 90s anime feel, and to also help me get a more easier look, stronger look at times when I don't want to always do the manual way and I want to use a filter to help. So the one I like to use is known as the Madoka Aesthetics Action. This is just one of many different virtual effects you can find in the asset store. There are lots of others, as well as other different brushes and stuff to help you try to consecutively get a much more effect of the 90s anime style. Now with the Madoka Aesthetic Effect Action, it comes with two different settings. It's a light and dark option. For me, it varies based on the image. I usually, for lifestyle, I like to use dark because it seems to just work best, and vice versa. So in case of dark, you won't use light. This always just makes sense to me and always felt weird using light on a light background. Now these virtual effects, as you activate them, you'll notice they have similar actions to what we did for the manual way. And that's because these same effects also apply to this method as well. That's why I mentioned for you to learn the manual way, because when you see by using these filter effects, you'll see that what you're doing is actually nearly the same as if you were using a filter or not. So you're going to want to hit OK over every option that comes up, and you now have your 90s style character. Remember, the things I showed you today are just one way of achieving the look. There are many ways and styles to achieve the 90s anime art style. My way is not the main method and shouldn't be all method of doing it, but you can discover tons of other ways to get the look for your characters or the characters you draw. Remember, if this video helps you, like and subscribe. Until next time, everyone.